You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by...
James.
James, my favorite handsome cowboy in all the land. That's you.
Okay.
Are you glad? Speaking of glad, guys, welcome to Suckprofessor, our shot-by-shot screen cap recap analysis of episode 7, season 1 of everybody's favorite show, Westworld. Holy shit, this one's called... What's it called?
It's the...
Say it in French.
I only took 6 years of French. Why would I be able to say this?
Hurry up.
I can't.
Hey-ya!
Trompe L'Oeil.
Trompe L'Oeil. Okay, so whatever the fuck that means. Actually, James, let's take a quick look at what it means. As you can see there on the screen, I forgot to make the screenshot. So it means some words that are on the screen right now. Mm-hmm. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Wikipedia. All right, everybody. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Without any further ado, James and I are going to hop up on our high horses and gallop off into the fun set. Let's go! All right, first shot, we open on Bernard, our favorite guy. Everybody likes Bernard. All kinds of theories about who this fella might be, but he's been in almost every episode, probably every episode, who knows. But he wakes up, we see something behind him
and
there.
You can hear a child's voice going, which you initially have to assume is got to be Charlie.
Charlie is kid, yeah, that's right. We heard him off screen. We heard, hey, Dad, wake up. So he kind of comes to in a hospital room, and yes, as James said, it's Charlie. Oh, poor, sick old Charlie. That sucks. He's got to... Hey, you know what, though? Where there's a kid with... he's got a teddy bear. I'm trying to be sensitive, James.
All we know about Charlie so far is that he's Bernard's son, and we know that he dies.
Yes.
So we know this is a flashback.
And that he relates to Dolores via his grief.
Yes.
Because it's the pain of Charlie is what makes him... kind of gives him his purpose, his raison d'être.
Yes, and we saw him talking to his wife via the satellite link at some point, and they kind of shared in their emotion of the loss of Charlie.
Yeah, and his wife is the hot, badass lady from Firefly.
Yes.
One of my favorites. So there it is, a book. I think it said something about the Mad Hatter. Was this Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, he says something very, very... not too clear at this point in the episode, but by the end of the episode, it becomes crystal clear what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I believe the line was something like, the Mad Hatter would say that everything would be what it isn't.
Right. And meaning that maybe what's going on isn't really what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is...
It's more than meets the eye, Transformers.
It's everybody... Castle Grayskull. All right, so Charlie's just, he's like his dad reading a book, though. Who doesn't love that? I had a dad once that read me a book. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I was thinking, too, it's like we see the bandage on his head. We're thinking maybe it's could it be a brain tumor? Could it be some sort of cranial surgery? Could it be why Bernard went into behavioral studies? Because he wanted to find a way to prevent this pain from happening to other people.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, and he's also got a handsome pajamas. But the thing is with his hair... Is it cancer? Because
I know, they usually shave a lot more than that. But maybe he's like Wolverine. Maybe his hair comes right back.
Even if it's not cancer, when they do work on your head, they don't leave the hair there. They still shave off your head.
They shave off your head?
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah,
that would be painful.
That's what a guillotine does. Yeah. It's just a really bad razor. No, what you see? They don't put fucking tape on your hair.
No, maybe it was in his contract as a child actor that they couldn't cut his hair. Maybe his hair was insured for too much.
Yeah, he's one of those piano players, but it's his hair. No, but you get what I mean, though.
Yeah,
they don't tape your hair.
This is a little comical.
They cut out your hair off. Okay, anyway, so with the kids, we don't know what actually.
And if it was cancer, you think the chemo would have done that for him?
If that's the route they went with,
but we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what it was. So anyway, it's just sad though. Kid's sick and he's in a hospital. It's always sad. So there he is. He's feeling shitty, and the dad's just trying to comfort him. What am I missing here, James?
No, basically this was right after the time that they did the Mad Hatter line. Then he says, "Is something wrong?" And he says something to his dad as if to tell him that something's wrong. I didn't quite catch the line, but that leads to the dramatic fluttering of the eyes, the flat line, and then the screaming.
Right, and then like a bit of an urgent response, and then Bernard's like, "Oh shit!" Oh, but of course, what happens? We are dreaming. He wakes up in bed alone. I suffer from lonely bed syndrome. Boy, I lay down in that bed and it's just me, and it's fucking sad, man. So yeah, he reaches over, he's thinking about his dead kid. Look at the shot. He's got his eyeglasses on his head. I like that they took such a candid photo. Mm-hmm. I like in movies and shows though when they do like these photo things, they always just looks like that morning.
Yeah, usually wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, it's the same set, the same actors, the same. They're both holding today's newspaper. Yeah. But Bernard's feeling it, man. It hurts. It sucks. So, but you know what gets a man's mind off his dead fucking kid is some fucking horrible job. The job that stresses you out, like we all have. We all have shitty nightmare nightmare jobs that distract us from our real pain, which is our family. So Bernard goes to work. He's talking to Hector. Is it Cortez? Oh no, I didn't block him. His entire tushy.
His crack is coming up.
Well, yeah, we at least it saves room for him to excrete any waste products. Do these hosts poop?
I don't think they've.
Yeah, we never got into that.
No.
Well, maybe it's a deleted scene.
We know Lee Sizemore does.
Lee Sizemore, yeah, he poops. He pees.
Yes.
Excreted waste products. So anyway, he's talking to Hector, this guy. I wish I was that thin. He's so thin he's even got a vein in his arm. I don't have any veins in my arms. And what's the gist of this conversation?
So he's basically talking to Hector. He wants to know if Hector is going down the same path as the other hosts, or they're kind of losing their minds. Because as we know, he had a close interaction with Maeve, so maybe there was a little bit of a ripple in his programming that triggered them bringing him for diagnostics.
Yeah.
So what Bernard is saying, he says, have you ever questioned the nature of your reality? And the interesting thing is that when Hector responds to him, he starts using words that are anachronisms for the time period that he's programmed for.
Yeah.
Words like cars and carry on. You know, that kind of stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why would he know these things?
Yeah.
So I think Bernard has a little bit of concern in him that Hector may be somewhat infected.
Right. That there's things bleeding into him. You're right. Exactly. I was going to say all that. Thanks, James. James has excellent notes, by the way. I want to shout out to James. He's got this iPad in front of him, and man, it looks like he wrote a fucking term paper. James, you've just graduated from Hank University. All the way. B-.
Is it like Trump University?
It's better because I charge less. So there he is. All these actors have fucked up shoulder bones. What the hell's going on here, James? Maybe I'm just too fat. I've never seen those bones before. So that's what it is. And then Bernard even gets him to the point when he's kind of checking him out, looking at him. It's kind of like when the muffler guy, puts that thing on your muffler and then pokes at a computer screen and then tries to sell you an air filter. So he shows him these pictures. I thought this was actually super interesting. We got some shots of these.
He basically gives him what's called a self-awareness test. He wants to be absolutely certain that there's nothing affecting Hector in the same way that it affected Peter Abernathy, who we remember saw that picture that had elements from the real world in it that really set his programming off, made him sort of go crazy, and sent him down the path to eventually let him be decommissioned into cold storage.
Yeah, good mention. That Peter Abernathy's photo was like a woman. It looked like Times Square.
Yeah, it looked like Times Square.
But I predicted that we would see that woman, and we never have. Although maybe it's worth going back and seeing her.
Yeah, it was just a guest.
Yeah, maybe a guest
who just so happened to carry a picture of herself that she dropped.
Right.
Or a man who was carrying a picture of his wife. Could be, anything.
Yeah, it could be that.
Didn't have to be a selfie.
Yeah. So anyway, Bernard's showing him, pictures of modernity here. This guy. This is where they, I don't know, I can't think of anything funny.
This is where they make the milk.
Yeah, there you go. What the hell's wrong with me? I was thinking of ice. I was like, this is where they do ice cores. It's been a long week. So, but he's kind of scrolls through. We see some bullet trains. These are kind of neat. Those are real fun. They go real quick. I think this is Taiwan or China.
That looks a lot like the Eiffel Tower right there.
No. That's
I mean, it looks like it, but it's displaced. I know there's different things around the world that look like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it's like video game Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is a big city in Asia somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Shanghai. Let's just go with it. Who cares? Sure. Shanglo. But the guy doesn't recognize anything. And about those photos, though, what they're sort of a theme throughout this episode is the ability or the way the hosts are programmed to not be able to see things at all. Like, it's just not supposed to register stuff that could harm them or stuff that's out of the world.
Which spurns the phrase that Hector says in response to the photos is, that doesn't look like anything to me.
Yeah. Which sounds like such an innocuous sentence.
Right.
If you hear it once, but it's sort of a big part of the
it's like their brains aren't even allowed to try to process it. It's just a brick wall. It says, go no further, here's my phrase.
It's almost like the creators of this park are using a well-known art technique called Trompe L'Oeil.
Maybe.
So this guy comes in and he goes, "Hey man, fucking Bernard, you got dude's looking for you. You got to." Or no, he goes, "Hey, I don't remember." He summons him, right?
Yeah, he says management wants to have a word with Hector or wants to see Hector for some reason.
That's right. Yeah, keep him out. Yeah, that's right. But then Bernard asks about Elsie, and Elsie's like, "Yeah, she's supposed to be doing some stuff for me. I can't find her. I don't know where she went."
Because I remember the last time we saw Elsie, she was investigating the source of the signal.
Yeah.
That she found out Theresa had something to do with, and then someone grabbed her from behind.
Yeah. So we still don't know who that was.
Yeah, Bernard has not seen her since that.
What's your best guess about who that was?
I'm thinking it was... Well, at first I thought it was Ashley Stubbs is his name, I believe. The Hemsworth brother.
Oh, okay.
But I think we saw him in this episode briefly, and he would have probably said something.
Yeah, I didn't... Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't have a reason why it wouldn't be him, but he just doesn't seem like the word. I would suspect it's either Robert, the young Robert, the little boy.
That's what I was about to say. I think if anyone, it's probably the little boy asking if you're lost. Yeah. That's kind of his thing.
Are you lost?
Yeah, and then he just opens his face.
Yeah, he opens his face and just starts chewing on her like a praying mantis. Okay. So, dead, this is the offices where they do all the diagnostics. It's not a great use of the fucking floor space. I mean, I know it's the future or whatever the hell, but... Come on, I know it looks great on show. It does look good. It looks really cool. Yeah. I hope I want to be Elon. I want to be the Elon Musk of TV show recaps and have a cool office like that.
It's like a fish tank.
It is. Actually, maybe it's sort of zoo-ish in a way. I would be rich. I would own mostly ping pong tables. So boom, we're on a train. Who did we last leave on a train? Our old good pals, Will.i.am, and El Lazo. Lazo.
Or Lawrence.
We thought it was
Lawrence.
Alonzo or Alazo. It's El Lazo, which is Spanish for the loop, which is something people have been pointing out for centuries. Mm-hmm. I just want to back up a couple, though. I like these old-timey cards.
There's no numbers on them.
No numbers. How smart were people back then? I can't count that fucking high that quick.
Interesting. I did not notice that originally.
Cards are hard. Yeah. I played blackjack and I put the money down on the table once, and I did it in the middle of a hand at a casino, and the dealer yelled at me, and then the guy goes, and a guy in a Cubs jacket was really nice to me, and he goes, all right, I'll show it. And he was helpful. There are angels, James. You're not the only one.
I thought you said the Cubs.
This was like the late 90s.
Oh.
I was born in 1840. Okay, so there they go. They're having a bit of their banter, a bit of their tough guy banter, kind of. William gets the better of him, earning himself a well-earned smile, right, James? And Lazo likes to kind of goes off on this little riff about how weird that they're buddies now, because they came into town looking for trouble and he fucked with them and they survived, but now they're there.
Yeah, and he even says, I believe, Lawrence, I'll call him Lawrence because I can't pronounce the other name very well.
What's wrong with you?
Elanzio?
El Lazo.
El Lazo, okay.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. El Lazo talks to William and says, your friend didn't make it as far as you did here, and that maybe you've got more of an appetite for this kind of life than you think.
Yeah.
So he kind of confirms that, it's you're not so different than your buddy.
Right,
after all.
Right. There's more than meets the guy, yeah? Pants Dolores is looking out the window, having a fun train ride. She's probably seen some stuff for the first time, although she's been in this park forever. She's probably been the cleaning lady for the first 40 years or some shit. So yeah, by the way, jump in if I blow right past.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, she was cleaning lady.
No, I mean, I wasn't claiming that. I said probably. But these guys are getting along okay. They kind of, they're not fighting. They sort of have a mutual goal. Their interests align temporarily.
Yeah, but he did say something like he's not apologizing for what he did to them before. He said if I had a chance to do it again, I'd screw you over just as hard the second time.
Yeah,
because that's what he's doing. He's trying to complete a mission, and he doesn't get sentimental about things.
Yeah. It's not in his programming to be much more complicated than that, really. He is a sinister fella, he is, and but Dolores is like, all right, okay, pal, I'm keeping an eye on you, and I'm keeping my arms crossed. I got my gun. She's got a big old gun on her. I like that. She's got, what did you call these, mom jeans? Not jeans.
Obama jeans.
Obama jeans. Yeah, well, he did wear mom jeans. Yeah. So there she goes. She goes off. We know he's spotting the same jeans we noticed. He's thinking, pants Dolores.
Well, he doesn't have his white hat on, so he can do bad
things. That's right. he's thinking to himself, Instagram, hey, do some squats. So she sits down, and this is kind of where he was saying that stuff, right? And so there they are. That's it.
Yeah, this leads us up to a moment where Dolores catches a glimpse of something out the window.
Right. And that's her. She sort of spots it, and she goes, oh my God. Wow, look at all the guns on the wall,
Is that a Macy's?
Yeah, she sees a Macy's. She saw, you ever see like one of those cars that's on like a billboard, and you're like, whoa, how'd they do that? But she's fucked, and she's like, shit, and you can see the reflection here. I saw these things flying by the window, and I was thinking maybe they're seeing construction, like an unprocessed or a broken down part of the park or something. But it turns out that was not the case. It actually happens to be that Alazo gets upset, or Larry, as James likes to call him, And he's like, oh shit, this is trouble. He doesn't seem too alarmed, but he immediately goes and he starts shuttering all the windows.
Yeah, he knows this is what he calls to be the Ghost Nation territory.
Yes. And it turns out, like he's got these cool kind of barricaded window things that are, boy, an armored train, huh? Mm-hmm. Is that not some Snowpiercer Mad Max fucking shit or what?
And just to remind everyone, to remind ourselves, the reason he's got this train is that he has the nitroglycerin on the train.
Right.
And he's pumped the nitroglycerin into cadavers.
Yeah.
One of which being Slim, who died in the prior episode.
Yeah, he ordered it up a custom train. He going, hello, train company. I'd like to order one of the armored trains. All right, Lazo. That wasn't funny at all. Why did I do that? And so then, that's what we actually saw. We saw gross, ugly decorations. What a terrible choice to make your place look better. I am not impressed.
Do you think they bring those heads in after every day and resuscitate them, reconnect them, and then they have to go through the process of being chopped off and respiked again?
Yeah, these are hosts.
No.
That's their loop. Their whole loop is, and then they actually use that, when they use beetles and they put them in an aquarium with a fucking cow skull, and after about 4 days, it's like a really clean skull. Mm-hmm. They do that.
Oh.
Yeah, they do that. Good for roasting marshmallows and stuff. Do we recognize any of these faces anyway?
No.
Every once in a while, something might jump out at you like that. They might try to sneak. If I were them, I would have put like a tiny little Zach Morris or something. I don't know. Somebody from TV. Mr. Belvedere.
Well, like Game of Thrones, they put George W. Bush's head in one of those shots.
Yeah, on the wall in the King's Landing there.
They couldn't do that with like modern days, like with like Trump. You'd spot that a mile away with that hair.
Yeah, you would, and it would also get blown away, and crows would turn it into a nest. So we're back with Bernard trying to call his little buddy Elsie. Nothing. This is really Elsie's only appearance in the show this episode, by the way.
Spoiler.
What do you mean, spoiler? She doesn't come up.
Oh, wait, they don't know that yet.
Well, they just learned. What do they need to know? It's not part of the fucking episode.
And now we know her last name is Huggies.
Huggies. She likes dudes. She likes to hug he's. James, I like to hug hers. And I like hers that like to hug both. You get what I'm saying?
So the point is, he's still looking for her.
I had a New Year's once, and we all got drunk, and it was fucking crazy. Okay, yeah, he's looking for her though, but she's not showing up.
Yeah, she's not answering her phone.
That's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad. She's not answering her iPad. So he hits the locate button, and I didn't get a shot of it.
That is very stalkerish. Can you imagine if that in the future everyone had like a locate button?
We pretty much have this at this point. There's geotagging on photos. You can find you can dig into people real easy. It's really horrible, actually. We're not far from this Westworld shit. We're just all governed by stupid impulses and instincts that make us act like assholes, and then we do it every day. How different is it than anything, really? Struggling to figure out what makes sense with our memories and to figure out something about our own lives and find some fucking meaning in our stupid, idiotic relationships. Did I mention I sleep alone? So yeah, what were you looking at? You're looking at something.
I was looking at the little button up there that said mods. I was like, oh, you can install some mods?
Mods,
yeah. Like Skyrim.
They can up the graphics. Oh, they can make the deer have Santa hats.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's worried about her, but then he gets distracted and gets caught up, and we're in one of our trademark evil red hallways. He's going to meet Theresa. She's talking to someone. Who could it be? It doesn't really matter, but she's having a conversation. So he comes in and James will take over.
All right. So basically, Bernard sees her talking to presumably another member of the board.
Yeah, well, I'll back up. There he is.
Yeah, so he's not really that important. It was just basically the last time that Bernard and Theresa had a real interaction was when Bernard went to her trying to find out more information about the signal when he got a call from Elsie informing him that Theresa's signature was all over the signal.
Yeah.
So he knows that the person who was responsible for the stray and the person who was responsible for the upload of raw data outside of the park was Theresa.
Yeah.
He doesn't know why she's doing it, but he doesn't want to lead on that he knows that she did it.
Yeah.
Because he feels like she could be a threat if she knows what he actually knows.
Yes. And she acknowledges that, though, but she says you left in a hurry last time.
Yeah, she said, you left abruptly last night. Was there something you wanted to tell me?
Yeah.
And then she starts getting really stern. She questions his department and the professionalism of the department and accuses them of second-guessing her department and her work. So, and then they kind of degenerate back to a more casual conversation. So she's definitely asserting her authority, making it known that we are no longer a couple.
Yeah.
This thing is over. I'm your boss. I call the shots. You need to listen to me. And he does not broach the topic that he knows her involvement in this scandal.
Yeah, he doesn't give that up. But and the board is around. We assume that guy's from the board. We also have Charlotte Hale, who's we'll see later. She is from the board. So they're kind of, the pressure on Theresa is growing. as the board is sort of not infiltrating, is the board is making their presence even felt in person now.
Yeah.
Right. So is that, and then they end up casually talking. It kind of gets a little friendly, sort of office bantery, and they don't hate each other.
No. It's almost like she just wants to redefine the line in the sand. It's
yeah.
like, this is where I stand, this is where you stand, neither shall we cross.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Like, I dumped a girl once, and then, well, anyway. There it is. There's the thing. What do they call those? Fucking flat mountains or some shit? I don't know. Oh, this shot was interesting. So this kind of camera pulled back across here. And this, I guess, is the office, though. This is sort of built in. It's interesting that they have these... I mean, is this the mesa? Is this underneath it?
Well, what's really interesting...
Is this part of the complex?
It seems like they go out of their way to design their offices so that they're not easily seen from the inside of the park.
Yeah.
And originally I was thinking, well, why in the world would they do that when we're already aware that they can design the host to ignore things, to literally not see things that they don't want them to see? And I realized, it's for the guest purposes.
Oh, okay.
It's for the immersion of the guests.
I see. So, but it also tells you, sort of grounds their facility in the center of that area. I don't know why that's interesting to me. I mean, I don't know why that seems to be dawning on me right now. Like, it seemed like they're always far away from it, but I guess they're just immersed in the middle.
I'm sure they got, like, little underground monorails that lead to the different elevators.
Well, they do, yeah.
Pop up into, wherever they need to be.
Like that Penn and Teller trick where they slide around and his face appears in the different boxes. Do you ever see that trick?
Lift off.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then they do it, and they take the walls down,
and you see behind,
and the boxes are all clear, and he's like sliding around underneath the stage and stuff.
He's very spry for his age.
Yeah, that's incredible stuff. Those magicians are fucking Looney Tunes.
I watched a special on David Blaine today.
Oh yeah.
And holy crap.
I know.
He's a demon.
It's madness. It's actually incredible. Okay, so yeah, so also it's establishing shots. So then, boom, we got plants, we got Theresa, we got a hallway. She's a little stressed, but we hear noises too. This was very interesting that they chose to do this.
Loud noises.
Well, it sounds a little bit like, which anybody who's ever stayed in a sexy hotel has recognized the sound of coitus, bumping uglies, knee burning, ankle shimmy shams, booty. And so she knocks on the door, and the sounds stop. And what do we find out? I didn't expect this. This is Hector.
That's what management wanted with Hector.
And she's the bored lady. Not so bored anymore.
Yeah.
And she was in there taking one of the roller coasters for a ride. Holy shit.
She was planking with the host.
Planking?
Bored? Plank?
Oh, well done. Yeah, she was frosting the funnel cake, let's call it.
Something wood.
Something with wood. She was having sexual intercourse with a robot whose flesh made out of flesh for somehow. But he's all tied up. I mean, they were really getting at it. And hey, I can't blame either of them. They're both attractive, and that's what good-looking people do. Look at me. So she's also this sort of is a power move, that sort of thing where she's just like confident, naked, and doesn't even care about her sex. You know what I mean? She's not ashamed or embarrassed, which I actually like. I think that's good. I'm against shame. I think we're cursed by shame. I think our fucking idiot puritanical ancestors from the past have burdened us with their dumb ideas, and one of those is shame. So good. And she's also a little taken back. She's like, you want me to get away from here? I can leave it alone. Shit, man, you want to go finish or clean up or whatever? Here's some paper towels. It's funny, too. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, he kind of like invites her in or something? Or he says something. He says something weirdly aggressive.
Or something like that, which is not appropriate.
Look, he's tied up with his bandoleros.
Yeah.
Wow, talk about risky business, huh? Jeez. I thought I was dangerous for rod dogging it. Wow, that's, I don't know why they don't just go off. It's not like, okay, so she puts on a thing, she's got her iPhone, she's got some wine, she's got some food, she's got a little tea. It's just lady's having a nice time.
It'd be great if she used like grab a remote and just like slowly turn his volume down, so as he talks it just gets lower and lower.
or if there was a bowl of condoms and she just started eating them like chips.
Oh.
So she comes in and she has this meeting, and this girl, I should call her a woman, that's more appropriate. She's very strong and willful and knows what she wants, and for her age the casting is an interesting choice. I like that it's such a young person. It makes me very curious what her backstory is though.
Yeah.
So do you want to throw in on this?
So essentially this scene is basically Miss Hale, Hale, I think it is, talking to Theresa and asserting that she is, like Hank said, a very powerful person, She has the board's interests in mind, and she's saying that she's questioning Theresa about the incidents that have been going on in the park, the woodcutter incident, the fact that Dr. Ford is tearing apart half the park and disrupting narratives just to insert his own narrative.
Sorry, that's just funny. Smoking is stupid, but also hilarious. Go ahead.
So she basically tells Theresa, you know, what we care about is the code. What we care about is the IP. We don't care about the hosts. We care about the 35 years of raw information that exists here and only here and nowhere else.
Yeah.
So she's essentially saying that she wants to get rid of Ford. She wants to replace Ford. She wants to encourage him into a forced retirement. But her worry is that Ford holds in his hand the power to completely destroy and strip away the very thing the board holds valuable, which is the IP, the raw data, the intellectual property.
Yeah.
So until they can segregate that from him, until they can make a backup copy, they're terrified of touching him.
Yeah.
Because they know he holds all the cards.
Right. Ford is protected because he can destroy their future.
Yeah, and she says, you don't fire someone who created an empire.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I'll never fire you, James.
Yeah, so she does say, we need to demonstrate how dangerous Ford's creations can be. We need a blood sacrifice of someone who was thoroughly unexpected.
Yes, that was weird. I mean, not surprising, but she kind of gave Theresa the assignment though, and it's like saying like, okay, we're gonna involve you in some really shady corporate, mean espionage-ish, or like just nefarious crap. And I guess they trust Theresa to not go running from, you know what I mean? Like they had trust of Theresa in that way.
And she doesn't.
Theresa has proven herself to be pretty loyal to the board.
She makes no assumptions that she's trying to be buddy with Theresa. She goes, "I like you. Don't get me wrong. I don't like you personally. I like you for this job."
Yeah. Which is just like that's so little. Just come on, just lie.
Yeah, she's testing where her loyalties are. Are you with Dr. Ford or are you with the board?
Right. So what do you make of this intellectual property thing? You're kind of a smart guy. You work with numbers, wouldn't you say? I mean, you deal with that sort of stuff. Not that you're not Mark fucking Zuckerberg or some shit, but what is that? Like, why is that valuable? I mean, there's money in the. It's like if Disney World made all of its money or generated tremendous income running the park, selling the shit and admission fees and then operating the park, but that was all a ruse because they're studying everybody who comes in. Is that essentially what's going on?
I don't think it's for like marketing research type thing, but imagine this code, you could create an army with this. Imagine the military applications for this kind of thing.
All right.
I mean, the entire thing they're doing is they are literally creating consciousness. They are creating life. There's nothing more valuable than that.
So there's ways to monetize that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because corporations are motivated by money, not by some sort of spiritual exploration thing to become the next god or whatever the hell they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the value then. Okay, I still don't quite get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
I mean, she's basically saying the physical mechanisms of the hosts walking around is not what makes Westworld.
Yeah.
It's the intellect, the consciousness, it's the growth, it's all the algorithms that have built up over 35 years that lead us into this artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
That no one else in the world could possibly have.
Well, that's the point I was going to say, is that speaks to the fact that this is a island of innovation, not the standard around the world. This isn't everybody is getting pretty good at gardening because we all have the same information now on the internet. This, I don't know why that's the analogy I went with. This is somebody who's figured out something very unique and very special.
Yeah, it's sort of like Coca-Cola. They don't care if one of their cans rolls away into an alley. They care about the formula.
The formula. Perfect. That's what an intellectual property is. IP. I told you guys James was an angel in the outfield. Look it up. Rookie of the Year on Netflix. All right, so we wake up with not Dolores, Maeve. But it's a top-down shot. That's why I think of Dolores whenever I see this angle.
Let's just call her Dwight.
Dwight. Don't fucking confuse us, James. We did our Walking Dead and we got Dwight and Dwayne confused. So there she is. She wakes up. She looks around. Now we get a good bit of my favorite on-the-nose analogy, the old player piano.
Yeah, and this, I assume this is the moment in the episode where we get our contemporary music. Once again, it went right over my head. I have no idea what it is.
It sounded familiar. I can't help you. I don't know. Please fucking call it a happy birthday. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the kids are listening to. This, what are these? Is this like a piano thing? I've never seen these. These must be sort of some sort of vents. Oh, is this what you step on? With the feet things?
With the feet. The
Yeah,
pedals.
yeah, but it moves these up and down because it was like these things slide up and then they cover the holes and then shit. I assume ghosts or air or something comes out of the holes.
Ghosts.
Yeah, why not? Maybe they're containing ghosts. There's some words up there. Maybe I don't know. Interesting. But the fact that they cut from Maeve straight to the player piano guts
to ghost holes.
To ghost holes. Wink. I know a guy who does a bit about if you die with a boner, do you have a boner? Is it a ghost boner? Can you feel it? Does he do? Okay. There's the thing. That's not my joke, by the way. I just want to be clear. Player piano. Boom, bing, 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 boom, boom. Ivory. You can see the little lines inside. Those are the elephant tusk lines, James. Very scary. It's dusty and gross.
You can tell how old they are by counting the rings.
That's right. That's right. You can also tell how much white trash I am by counting all the rings I wear on my toes. I have 20 rings, 2 for each toe. Okay, so she leaves work. She leaves for work. Pretty standard day for her. Although it seemed to me these guys do this fight, which we saw in the last episode.
This happens every morning for her.
But I sensed or saw what I thought it seemed like they kind of goofed it a little. Like this guy like took a couple of hitches or shot funny. Something just seemed. It didn't seem as fluid as the last time. I don't know what that really means. Maybe somebody can leave a comment if you also noticed that.
I mean,
like the first shot doesn't hit him. Maybe is this guy not? Is he not a host? Perhaps.
I don't know.
Look, white hat versus
the fact that it happens every day tells me they have to be hosts.
Yeah, that's what I would think. That's just sort of part of like this is their cock-a-doodle-doo. Like just gets the day started.
And the key thing to know here is that this is the first morning where Maeve has woken up with her stats re-rolled with 20 intellect.
Oh yeah. Why don't you explain what re-rolled means?
Re-rolled is a game thing where when you play an RPG, you have individual attributes or statistics, which could be strength, endurance, willpower. Yeah, it could be any of those type of things.
Flute skill.
Yes, and there's usually like a numerical scale, like 1 to 10, 1 to 20, or so forth. And the higher you are in that particular category or attribute, the more efficient you are at it. The more, the better you are in the world with that type of thing. So we know that last time she was in the diagnostic, she forced the diagnostic guys to turn her. And what was the name of that particular thing? It affected her overall intelligence, but it had a special name to it.
Oh, abacadabra bentamerance.
Yes, exactly. So they said that they have a restriction. They only put it up to 14. No host has a higher one than 14 because they don't want them to be too smart. Yeah. But she convinces them to kick it up to 20.
20. And intelligence is like the modifier for all of them. If you're smarter, even in Fallout 4 video game thing, the intelligence makes you gain experience faster. Yeah. Just because you can do more with everything else if you're smarter about it. So
she has way more mana than most people, and she can cast a lot of fire magic.
Yeah, that's right. She can do triple shotgun arrows or something.
No, her agility is not high enough for that.
Her agility. But she is good at quivering. Get it? So these guys get their gunfight over there, and they're done, and she's on her way to work. They were hanging up the poster. It looked like it was a different face. I thought I sensed in that. Sorry, I don't have a shot of it, but that's what I thought I noticed. I like the way this chick was walking. She was doing one of those like sassy, fun, flirty, morning after your wedding night. Woo!
You're emulating the walk while sitting down too. They can't see that, but
they can't. Oh fuck! We got to start filming ourselves, James. Damn it! And I happen to be dressed exactly like she is. That's funny. So yeah, she's doing her little sass walk. It's kind of cute. What's her face? Maeve comes in. She's got this intensity about her. I really like Maeve now. I'm into powerful, John Connor Maeve or whatever the fuck she is now, because she is awesome. And she hears the piano and she gives it a look and she hesitates. I don't think this is what she does every day. This is new. She walks over and she slams it down, turning off the music. Very symbolic.
That's like ripping the jukebox cable out of the wall.
Yeah.
Power chords.
It's just the record scratch and it's over. I mean, but the fact that she's like, okay, I'm not even gonna. This is the Gordian knot. The great story. He who can untie the knot rules the kingdom. And so the guy goes up there and chops it in half with a sword. I don't even know if that's the thing, but she just turns it off. It's funny. I was hoping she'd punch it and it would like fly and like an X-Men scene. So then she goes off. She goes up to the bar. This is sort of a regular day here. Everybody's up early, drinking, whoring, usual stuff. That's why else go on vacation. it was interesting that she was looking at her hands. I was thinking like, oh, I wish I had some edibles or something, because you look at your hands and you're like, oh my god, these are fucking, they're identical, but they're unique.
Yeah, for the first time, she's completely aware of her situation. She knows she's in a world that's not real.
Yeah.
She knows that this...
well, not the first, I mean...
she on the surface, she knows, but there's still... I mean, when you get into the next couple screenshots, something important.
But I was saying, like, because she's gotten herself killed because she knew.
Yes.
But, so back up like 2 or 3 days, maybe.
Yeah.
To clarify. Sorry to correct you, James. You just lost points on your score. Clementine comes up. We all like Clementine. She's growing on everybody, I think, a little bit. And what are they talking about?
She says, oh, my darling. Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling.
Darling Clementine.
Thank you, James.
Anyway.
Way to really commit.
Yeah. So basically Clementine comes up and she... Maeve starts saying her normal dialogue to her every single day. And she goes, don't open your mouth, like... And then she kind of catches herself. She's like, wait a minute, why am I saying this? I don't want to be saying this. She realizes that's my underlying programming forcing me to say this.
Yeah.
But she's intelligent enough and aware enough to realize that's happening to her.
That was a really intelligent choice that they included that. That she was like, you're watching Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so
go ahead.
So she asks Clementine something. She says, do you ever dream that you're someone else? And then Clementine starts telling her life story, basically, saying, yeah, you know, I send money back home. They think I work, my parents think I work at a dress store.
This isn't going to be my life.
Yeah, this is not what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I'm going to save up money. I'm going to move out. I'm going to go and follow my dreams. And it seems like she has this profound sense of sadness because she knows that Clementine is in a cage that she used to be in.
Yeah.
That she doesn't realize there is no tomorrow. There is no future. There is no saving. There is nothing beyond what they have set forth for you.
Yeah, she's like if the bear in the Chuck E. Cheese band got consciousness and was just like, look at these guys are just, there's a drummer and a guitarist, oh my god.
Yeah, and she cares about Clementine.
Yeah,
because she's the same as Clementine, only Clementine hasn't had the same awakening she has.
Yes, they've had the same sentence, the same death sentence. And look at her face, she's going, oh fucking Clementine. All right. So
yeah,
then
so things continue to play out. Clementine spends a good bit of time telling her about her backstory, so that's going to be the next couple screenshots. Really.
Yeah. Well, not really. That's it, though. I mean, we're here because it takes a turn.
Yeah. The tough part is that what happens, that the catalyst that changes the scene is that everything freezes. But when you're looking at screenshots, it's really tough to tell when everything freezes.
Well, yes, it is, and it takes Maeve a couple seconds to be like, ooh. Like every once in a while, James will lock up, and I gotta go get him with one of those kung fu pressure point moves, or up and down his back, and then he goes, ooh, and he goes, ah, and I go, James, we gotta leave Whole Foods. Security is after us. Quick, grab the taco mix. So there she goes, and she realizes that oh no, Clementine's locked up, and everybody's locked up. All these fellows are done. There they go. They got those cards without the numbers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just but so that also tells us, though, that nobody in here is a guest.
Yes, no one is a newcomer, no one's a guest.
Yeah, so see who's on their way in. These are the gods. So she realizes, though, that she's supposed to be locked up, and she's not.
She is not
frozen. Might be a better word.
But she's playing along, because she knows that if she lets them know that she's not frozen, there's going to be badness.
Yeah, that'll cause a lot of trouble.
And she hears them saying something, too. What are they saying?
I don't know.
They're saying, is like, oh, she must have done something really bad if they're having us come out in broad daylight. Let's go get her. She's right there at the bar. And Maeve's like, oh, crap, they're on to me. They're coming to get me. So she starts clenching a knife in her hand. She's about ready to fight.
Yes, she's ready to go at it because she ain't going in because she knows they'll probably figure out that something's different about her and her jig will be up. But they walk up, classic movie style. She's all ready to go. I don't know. These are always funny, these fish and whatever they're called. And... no, they're here for Clementine. Oh, man. What? And so they tap, 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 and Clementine wakes up. They take control of her and drive her off like she's a human drone. And she, of course, obliges, and off she goes. Maeve is, of course, like, whoa, relieved, but also obviously curious and wondering what the hell's going on. And,
yeah, a little worried, too, because Clementine's her friend.
Clementine's her bro. She's got to check in on her, man. She wants to, but that's what it is. So we cut to the next scene. Hi-ho, Silver, where off we are in a big, great... steps or plateaus or something. Train going through. What a time to be alive. Dolores has a big fat face. Nope, that's her reflection. She's doing great. There she is. William having a blast. He's smiling. He's feeling good. I think they're kind of enjoying it. They're having a little conversation. James, you probably have a little more detail.
Yeah, I got a little bit of notes. So someone says, the place you're looking for, what makes you so sure it exists? William asked this to Dolores. And then Dolores, doesn't really... I can't recall what she says exactly, but she gives her standard canned response that she wants to be something better. She doesn't want to be part of a story, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she turns the question back and asks, what is it that you're looking for? To William. And his answer was the only thing he had when he was a kid was books. He used to live in them, used to go to sleep dreaming he would wake up inside one of them because they had meaning. And he says,
Well, I mean, that's also on the nose for what's going on.
Yeah. He says, I guess I just want to find out what it means.
Yeah.
And Dolores says that she doesn't want to be in a story. All she wants to do is to not look forward or back. She wants to be in the moment she's in.
Yes, that's right. And that is what it's all about. It's become cliche. She leans in here and she's like, I just want to be in the moment. And then she gives him this look, which is, what? Come on, boo, boo, boo. You know what it means to have a moment. I mean, there's other moments too. Sometimes you got egg rolls or pho. Sometimes it's just a nice sunset. But there's also the old gonad moments. And what I just want to say about that though, like the cliche of being in the moment, don't roll your eyes at that. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to listeners. Don't roll your eyes at that idea. I know it's cliche. It's easy to dismiss, but fucking A, that's true. Because what is it? What is regret? It's being worried about the past. What is worry? It's regretting the future. I fucked all that up. You know what I mean, though? I, at least, live in the past in my regrets. And I also live with anxiety about the fucking future. And, man, the moment is really all we got. James, hold my hand. Hold it. Hold it. Fucking hold it! You ruined it! You fucking ruined the moment. So William actually then tells her that, oh boy, she is on the prowl, but he goes, you know what, I'm kind of engaged to marry a lady, the sister of Logan, and shit, fuck. That's what he's basically doing, right?
Yeah, he has a life out there waiting for him.
Yeah, and a woman, this is his bachelor vacation. He can't be, banging a mannequin on his bachelor trip.
Dolores even says, oh yeah, the sister of Logan's sister.
Yeah.
So she knows, but she doesn't take it very well because she thinks that she's building something here with William.
Yeah, as they should. They've been through a lot together. There's nothing more bonding than stress and unique, interesting
and he says,
experience.
I knew you before you were pants, Dolores.
Yeah. And she says, I want to be undressed, Dolores. Come with me. But she takes it kind of, it's hard. She got rejected. It hurts a little bit, even just because she's a, robot head. She still has feelings and stuff. I guess that's the whole point of the show. And, but she takes it with a little grace. Of course, and he's like, I want to. Don't get me wrong. I can't. I made an agreement.
Yeah.
But, she walks off to kind of deal with her emotions.
Yeah, she's clearly upset, and she kind of storms off, but in a contained manner.
Yeah, but not she didn't hit him with the butt of her gun.
No.
She just pistol whips him.
But William clearly knows that she's hurt.
Yeah, there's that face, too. Boy, have I been there where one was... and then you go, oh, fuck. What did I do, man? Oh, fucking, I'm going to regret this. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, he has a change of heart. And I think this is really something, men, James, let me share a little secret with you about men. Our penises are calling the shots. They have a lot of influence, not just on our decisions, but on our identity. Personally, that's why I draw a mustache on mine every morning after I shower, because it's my look. And, I have Michael Jordan shaved in my pubes. I don't know why I said that. Air Jordans, the symbol.
Is it one of him crying? Jordan crying?
It's Jordan with a Hitler mustache.
Oh, God.
It's the one where he's crying holding the trophy. So no, but I'm saying that it's not just his penis, though. He is kind of hit his limit. And he explains it, too, though. So he gets up and he takes off. And I thought this really turned into kind of a romantic, almost silly, but I liked it. I liked that William. Look at him. I'm going to come get you, woman.
I was hoping he would just fall and die here.
Yeah.
He's get dragged a bit until he's a skeleton.
He puts his foot here, but it's just a bad step, and he just, his one leg goes down, and he does the splits momentarily and barely hangs on, and then...
Dolores looks down and says, abort, retry, fail.
Yeah. The train just bounces a little bit, but keeps on the tracks, and off he goes. He just is another red smear on the annals of history. Is annals the way? Is that the word for that?
Anals.
Anals.
No.
Wow, that's the most you've ever sworn.
That's not a swear.
You're going to hell now.
That
there.
is not.
Look at you. You just violated all your ancestors.
That is not inappropriate.
Yeah. Someone's going to have to sacrifice a couple goats to make up for their stupid voodoo reasons for not swearing.
That's not a swear.
You said anal.
Anal, yeah.
Anal's worse than bitch. Say bitch.
Let's move it on.
Okay, you're willing to say anal but not bitch? What are you, a medical doctor?
Yes.
I wish. All right, so he makes it across. Woohoo! But he goes storming in and he goes, wait, let's fuck. Let's fucking bang. We got all kinds of blankets and stuff, and this is sort of sexy, even though it's a chandelier, but it looks like jewelry. I don't know, something about lingerie. What else does he say, James?
He talks to her and says that, I've been living a life. It's a good life. It's a life I've always wanted, but it's a life where I feel like I have to pretend all the time.
Yes.
And what he wants is that what Westworld has taught him is that being here shows him what a life is like where he doesn't have to pretend, where he can truly be alive. And he says, how can I go back to pretending when I know what this feels like?
Right.
And then they go, bow chicka wow wow.
Wow, James, you're swearing. No, I'm just I know. I'm trying to fuck with your head. Yeah, and then that's when he goes in for it. Because this is what it is. He can't be a pretender. I know what it's like to be a pretender. The truth is, James, I am the tooth fairy. Give me your teeth, young boy. So there they go. And whoa, tongue hockey. It's ready to go. Let's have at it. Let's grind it up. Let's de-pants ourselves and do what the God made us for. James, if we're all made in God's image and I'm made in God's image, then God has a mediocre dick.
Yeah. And this is where he finds out that she's got a Thunderbolt port.
Thunderbolt port. Oh boy.
That was inappropriate.
No, that hit home hard. I like it. Because Thunderbolt's a good thing. We all like a good Thunderbolt. Man, come on. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that actually leads up to later on, too. Speaking of orgasms. Boom, there they go. They're getting up. They're getting it going. James, we should just do this for pornos. We should just be like, oh yeah, and then the guy brings a pizza.
Like, bow, chee, pow.
For some reason, there's a hole in the pizza. And she doesn't seem to mind getting grease all over her face. It's fucked up. But, hey, it's love. They're both robots. So yeah, anyway, it's nice to kind of see this kind of come to fruition. We all knew this was going to happen. This is like when Ross and Rachel finally kissed.
Yeah, and we speculated at the time that we saw this happening there's going to be a showdown between William and Teddy now, because poor Teddy is off risking his life going into horrific territories on the lie that Dolores' life is in danger, where she clearly isn't.
Right. Well, she's heading off on her own adventure. She's
right,
under more risk than... Well, I guess
is in danger
before she was under.
But the path that he's following does not have Dolores at the end of it.
Right. He's being manipulated by the man in Ed Harris.
The man in the yellow hat.
Yeah. I just had a weird idea. The man in the yellow hat. Isn't that Curious George?
Curious George, yeah.
Yeah. How curious, James. Mm-hmm. Kissing is fucking crazy. Wouldn't it be weird if we had like a kissing hole that wasn't our lips? So we just evolved like a thing on our shoulder that was like a weird hole, and then when two people made out, they just like grinded their holes together.
That would make riding the subway very awkward.
Or old movie theaters where the seats are too small. Anyway, kissing's fun. By the way, I'm good at it. I'm getting a little too old to make out, but I can still smooch. That's good. I tried to kiss this girl once after I dropped. We went to the zoo, and then I dropped her off, and I went for it. You take off your seatbelt and you lean over, and then they don't get, and you're like, oh well. I'll go back to my side of the car now. Sorry, why did we go to the zoo? Fucking shit. It was still daylight. I'm too, okay. I'm really good. I got nice lips for a white guy. I got an upper lip. A lot of white guys don't have an upper lip. I do. It's pretty sweet. Okay? Sorry. No wonder people leave shitty comments all the time.
No responses for this.
Well, that's because you didn't get blessed by the lip fairy like I did. All right. Boom. Another, oh look, it's office space up here. Is that the Mesa? Mesa's the bar on top where they get to go celebrate. Maybe that's
it's like the top of the facility poking out of the mountain.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
It's all paper mache built around the building.
Right. All right, we're pushing through. Now we got something going on. This is obviously different. We got Anthony Hopkins, we've got Charlotte Hale, and a bunch of suits. So there's nobody naked, which also tells you something crazy might be going down. We assume this is board stuff, and she's doing that thing where she doesn't look towards. That's always a power move that people do. And he walks in, and
typically a boardroom has a table and chairs, but yet everyone's standing, which is really weird.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Miss Hale, we have Bernard, we have Dr. Ford, and we have other board members.
Yeah. Theresa.
Teresa. Theresa
Cullen.
So she is saying that we have a presentation for you, referring to Ford and Bernard.
Right.
And they're going in, they're saying, recently you've implemented something into the park, into the code, reveries.
With the latest update.
Yes, with the latest update. And she says, as a result of these reveries, we have discovered some disturbing things in the code. At which point they wheel out their guest of honor.
Who is? Not him. Not him again. It's there she is. Clementine. Oh, Clementine. That's why she was captured from the bar.
Yeah. So basically, they want to give presentation, as they say. They want to give a demonstration as to why the latest update is not appropriate,
right,
or is more of a threat than it is a benefit.
Yeah.
So she says that we're going to put a person in with Clementine, or it doesn't say this just happens.
Yeah, they kind of initiate the test.
And she says that, as you know, Clementine is hard-coded to recognize who's a newcomer and who's a host.
Right.
And we've told her to recognize this person who is a host, but she's supposed to recognize him as a newcomer, as a guest, as a human.
Right.
So the whole idea is that she won't attack him back. If he should do something to her.
And of course, this is a hard scene to watch. He just starts hitting her, and it was awful. This guy had a pad in his hand, though, and that made me think that he's just a guy, like he works there. But what a goon, though.
Yeah, and the important thing to know is that before they initiated this, they said they rolled her software back to the way it was prior to the reveries.
Right.
So this is basically Clementine 1.0.
Or Clementine 7. Or say Clementine 6, where they're going to get up to 7.
Let's say the current Clementine is 7, so this would be Clementine 6.
Yeah, Windows 10 versus... Okay, we're getting ourselves... It's Lionheart versus Snow Leopard or some shit. I don't know what the fuck apples. But look on the table here. This is interesting. This is one of those knee hammers.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. World's worst tomahawk. Those things are funny. Like, is that... I remember when the doctor does it to you, you're like, really? You do that? That's not just a thing? That's not that, like, what are you going to do? Put a leech on my forehead and see if I have a fever? Get out of here with this fucking knee hammer bullshit. But apparently they were going to hammer her knee. What if that was the whole scene? There's like, doing, she kicks him in the balls. So he's not really surprised by it all. He's obviously seems a little annoyed. But of course the guy just starts pounding on her. And Theresa's uncomfortable, as she should be, as I was. And the dude's not going easy. And he's fucking, it's hard. Man, it's hard. I didn't like this scene. And poor Clementine, she's freaking out and she's begging for help. Yeah. And it's really traumatic. He puts his arm around her. Chris Hemsworth wants to get in there and have at a little bit. And
the fact that he's here right now tells me that he probably wasn't the one that grabbed Elsie.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because that was you had speculated that
maybe it was him, but why would she still be missing if he was here?
Yeah, I think it's clearly it was his two younger brothers.
Yeah,
Brad and Justin or whatever the fuck their names are. So
Chris
they hit stop. Someone hit stop, and they both stopped. Turns out the guy's a host, which wasn't super surprising.
Yeah, I mean that kind of just seals the deal that this is not a real person.
Right, and that they're both hosts. And so this is a hard show to watch, though, because you're supposed to thinking it in your mind. Oh well, she's a robot in the story. She's a robot getting beat up. Therefore, my sympathy isn't as. But I still feel the same sympathy. But it don't. I don't like that.
Yeah, seeing a woman get beat up is horrific.
Whether she's a robot or not. I mean, that's what I mean.
I mean, we're programmed to know that's not okay.
It's supposed to feel horrible. Yeah, you shouldn't be okay with that. And if you are, fucking get some help, man. Sort of do some deep thinking. So then they recharge her and they make her they reboot her.
Yeah, they wipe her memory and reset her, so she goes and sits down as though nothing ever happened.
Yeah, and this is also very hard to watch because she just kind of resets herself, but without a cleaned up face, and so she turns. Oh, what an actress! I mean, god damn. I mean, that's an acting. You gotta go in. I mean, did they do it all in one take?
Yeah. So they're rolling her software to its most recent state now. This is with the reveries activated.
Yes. And now, did you see what was coming? We kind of did.
I was expecting some sort of Matrix Neo thing to happen. Yeah.
I was hoping that she would tear her face off and she'd be Lawrence Fishburne. So she goes up to him and goes, "Oh, you're a man. You just does that hooker enticing thing." And then the guy makes a move at her. And she backs up and pow, nails him, and boom, whack.
She didn't go right for him until he made the first initial attack.
She wasn't, exactly. She wasn't the aggressor, but she defended herself, which was great. And Bernard's like, oh, and Anthony Hopkins is like, I wish a woman would hit me. It's been years. The only thing that hits me anymore is myself. But she just fucks this dude up, and she's relentless too, which I really liked. This is nice payback. This is like, all right, good. He just kicked her ass. Now she's gonna fuck him up. So she's throwing him around and beating him up, and it was great. There's got to be a version in this planet or this world that they're all on where they do cockfighting, like AI. James, don't laugh. That's not you're so immature.
No, I mean,
I saw that smile.
No, the idea that they're taking two hosts and forcing them to fight in an artificial fight club is what I meant. That's and tying knives to their ankles and watching them.
Oh, God. You mean like human?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's crazy.
Flapping the arms and cutting each other with their ankles.
Glue on their wrists or glue on their knuckles and then glass, just like in that that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. But they've got to be doing that cockfighting.
Maybe.
There's a Michael Vick out there. I'm not talking about in this park.
So basically what you're doing is you're equating women to dogs. I got it. Let's move
women,
on.
stop it. No, women are cats. Come on, idiot. Men are dogs, women are cats. That's how it works. It's the order of things. Okay? And it just also happens that some of us are also snakes and pigs and is there any animal you'd want to be? I'm a bird. I shit without thinking. I don't even have a rectum.
That sounds pretty...
Or sphincter.
Pretty free.
It just comes out. Yeah.
I would like that.
All right. So anyway, they're all like, whoa, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, that's no good. That's not the kind of Disneyland. We don't want, Bugs Bunny beating up people at the park. We can't have this. So she just keeps wailing on him. She's not too stressed about it. She's kind of expected it. This is the design that they had, though. This is the blood sacrifice, right?
Right. And bear in mind, though, she was programmed at this point to see this as a human.
Yeah.
So she is literally killing what she believes to be a human.
Right.
And that is a liability.
Yeah, that's no good. You can't have that going on there. This is just like any office environment. When somebody murders somebody, you got to write up reports. So she kind of she kills the guy, but she's done with him. And then she doesn't so they try to shut her down, right?
They send their tech guy in.
Yeah, they send him in. He gets his gun, he goes on with his hand. And she won't, he's telling her seesaw motor functions, and she won't stop.
Yeah, she doesn't freeze.
Yeah, so they don't have control, and that's very scary. She's just sort of she's kind of doing things, and then she approaches him, and as she starts to make a move towards him, he, bam, hits her with a bullet, and she's done. She's down for the count. They murdered another bunch, send them off to the washing pits, and they will be sewn back together for more fun tomorrow. Anything to add, James?
No, I would think that they probably sent her to cold storage for that, because if Peter Abernathy got thrown into cold storage for freaking out over a photograph, you'd think that'd be a little bit more of a serious,
Well, yes. Thank you. In fact, that's exactly what happens. In fact, I think it's more than that because of what we see later. I was just rambling like a maniac. Yeah, it's not... She doesn't go back, but they clean up the other guy. I'm guessing. I don't fucking know. To beat up other women. I don't know. All right. So, anyway, point proven, though. They're like, all right, buddy.
Presentation's over.
Yeah. This is no good. And they start to blame Bernard.
Yeah, Theresa is the one who explicitly throws Bernard under the bus. She says, what I find most disturbing is that not only is this happening, not only are these reveries inciting violence and memories or colluding with past events and seeping through into the current consciousness of these hosts, but our technicians or diagnostics have reported this exact kind of behavior to their supervisors on many different occasions, and nothing has been brought to our attention and nothing has been done about it.
Right.
And she said, that's your direct responsibility, Bernard.
Yeah. She used to throw him under the bus, and now she's under the bus.
Yeah, so she said the only real course of action is to completely rewrite them from the ground up, which is going to take, 6 months.
Yeah, and he goes, you want us to lobotomize them?
Yeah, and she was, oh, no, don't get me wrong. We're going to do this, but not with you. You're fired.
Yeah, so Charlotte fires him first.
Yeah, Charlotte has the authority to fire him.
Yeah, and that's sucks. And Bernard is a little taken aback. He's like, fuck, fucking fired.
He's looking around for help. He's like, Dr. Ford, Theresa, do something.
Yeah,
Come on, guys.
Yeah, he's like, somebody say something. This is not cool, man. Dr. Ford doesn't seem to care. He's just sort of seething, I guess you'd call that. Or he doesn't give up his reactions too readily, I don't think.
No.
I wonder if we'll see him panic by the end of this show. Or maybe like breakdance or parkour or something crazy. He just turns into one of those Pink Power Ranger or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bernard's lost his job. They've got dead hosts everywhere. We got fucking corporate board people taking over. These two guys are goons. These guys must be the board people. This guy's the Hemsworth dude. And man, what the fuck? They got to fix the window too. Well, I guess that's how all corporate board meetings go. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much the point of the scene. It's the fall of Bernard Lowe.
Bernard Lowe is down.
He's at a new low.
All right, so boom, we're out back on the train. We're with our favorite Dolores. She's doing something. She's drawing on a canvas, I guess, right? I mean, on a blanket or something. I'd be pissed if I woke up and she was doing that to my stuff. But anyway, there she is. And, it's kind of a cute moment. He's got his shirt off. He's nice and thin. He's got his lumpy face.
And I didn't see this happening, but when the robot baby punches through his chest.
Right back here.
Awesome.
Yeah. And goes, I'm Quaid.
Yeah.
Quaid, we will terraform Mars. Some people understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
totally.
he gets up and he's like, yeah, baby, morning sex. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, so she's saying, do you regret? And he goes, I don't regret a thing. I used to think this place was all about pandering to your basest instincts. It doesn't cater to your lowest self. It reveals your deepest self. It shows you who you really are.
Yeah, and who he really is a robot fucker.
Yeah.
And I applaud it. Way to go. And then she points out that she drew this.
Yeah,
she do this all overnight.
Been doodling, yeah.
Maybe they don't sleep.
No, they don't. Well, I mean, technically they do because
man.
we see her wake up every morning, but it looks like tonight she's off her loop. She didn't sleep.
Yeah,
So she's just stared at him while drawing.
You think they'd program her to pretend to sleep? Like if I had a girlfriend and then after we banged, I would sleep and she'd be like, I'm going to draw. And then I'd wake up and she's like done with her draw. I'd be like, oh, fuck. Could look how
painted a picture of you sleeping on the wall.
Yeah, it's a picture of me with a robot poking out of my belly. I'd be like, Lucky Charms. So she explains though that she sometimes paints, or she usually paints things she's seen, but this is something she painted that she imagined.
Yeah, that she said, what if I drew something new?
Yeah, and I wanted to see a hill here and a mountain and a thing and a water.
Said she dreamed of it.
Let's back it up a little bit. Yeah. And the boom, wow! So that's actually a that's a good orgasm when you have sex with someone and they suddenly have an imagination. You did a good job.
I personally, I'd be pretty ticked off if I woke up and found her drawn all over my blankets.
Yeah, well, there's that. Of course, who wouldn't? But at the same time, I'd be like, hey, you know what? The 5 stars on Yelp. Baby.
Yeah, it's like you better have like a washing machine function.
Nah, man, I some of my proudest moments are when I didn't let her down. My favorite sexual position is gratitude. So, boom, train number 8 with the rhubars on the front. Of course, it slams on its brakes because, and actually, that's what's back up.
You know what the front of the train's actually called?
It's called rhubars.
The cow catcher.
Well, you know what the roo stands for? Kangaroo. It's the Australian version of cow catcher.
Interesting. I did not know that.
It's for plowing through fucking kangaroos. And the cows are for is also bison. They're also called the Bison Grill. I made that up. I don't know. It sounds like a restaurant. So, the road is blocked, and they got to stop, and it's fuck. It's got to be hard to stop a train. That's an air conditioning commercial. Oh no, El Lazo leaps in action. What do we got? We got a good old stagecoach. Hiccup. What word am I?
It's an ambush.
Hitch up. What the word? Stick up. Stick them up.
Yeah.
Stick them up, guns. It's an ambush.
We can tell by the way they're dressed that we clearly know who these guys are.
The
Confederados.
Confederado guys. So they've got the machine gun here, these old-timey Gatling gun. And oh crap, and they just line it up and they're ready to go. There's really not much you can do with a train. Not a lot of options when it comes to being maneuverability. And so they're gearing up and they're like, fuck, we got a long shot from the cactuses. And I
have to wonder, like, could William have jumped out there and just like started tanking the bullets from the Gatling gun?
Yeah, just charged close like he's
but it's a Gatling gun. I mean,
he would.
That's gotta hurt.
But he would I guess you're right, because it does still hit him.
It's like superpower paintballs to him.
Yeah, and the further away they get, it seems like the more they're sort of impacted. Like the kind of the difficulty level increases as they get away from sweet water. So boom, and they just start blasting. These are the little armored windows. And
the SWP stands for.
Oh, SWP.
Sweetwater Postal?
Sweetwater Pacific. I don't know. Single white.
Don't say that.
Single.
Forget I asked.
Sexy wish. Okay. Bang, 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 bang. Ow, my train. And they're getting shot. And it sparks. No, it's so good. But, man, that's fucked up. They're getting all blasted and things are getting hit, stuff. It's pretty standard movie stuff here. What the fuck is this thing? Is that a shoehorn?
I don't know.
Some kind of thing. It's got to be a type of gun with a shovel for pooping or something.
Must be a really dangerous handkerchief below it.
This thing is right there, a doily.
That's my attack doily. I killed 10 men with this doily.
It can sever off 14 heads in one doyle swing. O'Doily rules. And so there they go. They're getting all shot. The Gatling gun's doing its job, and pow! The guy's cranking it like an old-timey camera, and there he goes. Boom, we're done. And not done, really. What does this say here? I'm just getting a look at some of the logos. It's hard to see. It's one of the nice things about our screenshot recaps, James. People get to slow down a little bit. Boom! They think they got him, and then what happens? The door opens, and somebody comes riding out. It's a cowboy rider.
And please explain to me how none of the bullets hit a horse in there.
Well, they didn't shoot that barn.
They shot down the whole length of the thing. It felt like
they knew where the people were. They didn't.
Yeah,
shoot.
There's no bullet holes in it. I get it.
But... Yeah, that's the horse one. SWP, single white
pony.
Horses.
Horses.
Porpoises. So yeah, the door opens, a political gun, boom, boom, guy's on a horse, and I was like, oh no! And then James figured it out before I did because I'm very slow. It is our friend Slim.
Yeah, he's looking a little pale. He's tied up in a sitting position. And what do we know about Slim?
He's filled with explosives.
Yes,
and
because he just ate Chipotle.
Yes, and it's oozing.
joke.
Nice. I once maced myself at Chipotle. I got hot sauce in my eye, and it was busy. So I didn't want to leave my seat, so I started crying. I just kept eating. It was fucking weird. I didn't want to lose my seat. And I had a bag of... Okay. He's got shit coming out of him, man. He's like a beehive. He's all full. And then this guy realizes it, going, those aren't tears.
Young John Goodman.
A little bit, yeah. Or like Ellen DeGeneres, if her life fell apart. And he comes up, he says something kind of cool. He's like, this is my horse, time to shoot you with the gun. I don't know. He says something fun. Right? Did you write it down?
No.
All right, you're forgiven. And then, boom, what happens now? He shoots the explosive man right in the explosion. Boom. I started pounding on the screenshots, although you can't get him as fast as you press them, unfortunately. But we did get a good bit. Oh, look at the horse legs. That's so funny.
I think it said, your chances are slim to none. They'll be slim pickings.
I'm the real Slim Shady.
Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Time to get slimed by Slimmer, the ghost. So, boom! Oh, look! Is that his hat?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so great.
That's cartoony.
Pew! Pew! He's far away from everybody. I guess this is a safety explosion for the crew here. But,
I mean, realistically, you should have waited until it was a lot closer.
Yeah, get him right in the middle of that crew and just fuck them all up. But he did hurt a bunch of them. Hit plenty of them.
The horse is surprisingly stoic.
Right, this guy or this guy?
The blowing up horse.
Yeah.
It's not even flinching.
Well, he doesn't have time, man. He didn't know it was coming. Horses aren't that smart.
You think his tail would be in the air or something?
Well, give him a second. He's working. He's inertia. All right, why don't you back off? Okay, there, Bill Nye.
There he goes.
Yeah, that's
his tail's in the air for sure now.
It's somewhere.
As is his head.
Yeah,
that's the horse's head, isn't it?
I think that's the head. It lands in the bed of that guy in the Godfather. That's crazy. Yeah, so these big chunks of meat are flying around. Good meat. It's already cooked.
That's how we make dog food.
Mm-hmm. And glue. Everybody gets stuck in their gluey, sticky dog food mess with a horse head. Everybody has a horse head on after this. Whoa, man, they really did it. That worked. And it knocked some of them down, got them out, and what do they do? Hiya! Off they go. They're off to the races. We've got a good old horse chase
so
coming
it's more
up.
of a distraction than it was a death blow to the enemy.
Yeah, they didn't just hang out in the train and be like, oh, yeah. Any other ideas?
Let's send out another one, see if they notice.
Yeah. So now we got a good gun chase, a good racing time, and Dolores was all action Jackson going on. She's clinging on to William. It's backed up there. So this is El Lazo with two horses, and he's got these bodies. So this is the cargo, though. He needs to save the explosives.
Yeah, that's his precious cargo. The body's filled with nitroglycerin.
Yeah. And she's running. They're going. We're just going to burn through this stuff pretty quick. Woo! Oh, wow. Look at all the horses go. That's Dolores shooting somebody there, right?
Yes, Dolores does.
She blasts a guy from a horse, which is pretty good. Remember when Teddy taught her how to hold a gun and shoot? She's been Googling it because she's gotten good. Then she gets hit, or she doesn't really get hit, but she sort of slows down and falls off the horse because of the tree. This is a funny face.
Yeah.
Okay, I could say stuff, but there she gets up, and William sees, oh, my dear, my darlest, my dearest darling, I must rescue you because I am a hero, and he rides back. Hiya! Get on the horse. Dolores, actually, before when I said she was clinging to William, now she clings to William.
I was really hoping, though, like, he would not notice that she fell, and he would be riding away, and then she would come running up beside him, like Terminator 2 style.
All determined.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but she turns out to be faster, so he abandons the horse.
Jumps on her shoulders.
Yeah. And then the horse jumps on his shoulders, and then she's carrying all three of them. And boom, there she goes. They're a couple. Look at them. Talk about having some good sex, James. I've had good sex after fucking Chipotle, let alone after a horse murder time. That's two Chipotle references in one show. That's what you come to expect here.
Be sponsored by now?
I would hope, man. I'd rather eat taco trucks, but whatever. Boom! So these guys are all angry. James actually called out what was going to happen here. I got to give James credit for it. He's like the oracle. He goes, oh, the Ghost Nation's probably on their way.
Yeah, because they got like a gatling gun, multiple Confederados on horseback. They stand no chance of getting away unless something intervenes.
And something does, and it's called a arrow into his back. Take that, Gatlinger! And so arrows start flying. Boom! The Confederados are under assault from our friends, the Ghost Nation Indians. Dolores is like, fucking shit. Yeah. William's like, okay.
It's actually Dwight shooting the arrows.
Dwight from The Walking Dead is shooting arrows. Or Dwayne, our favorite two stringy-haired white guys.
Dwayne, Dwight, and
And Dwayne the Dwok Dwanson.
Yes.
So, James, thanks for bringing up an entirely different show.
I know.
Come on. Who are you? Charles in charge? So, yeah, that's the Ghost guys. And these are the ones that celebrate the suited guys as gods, right? Remember Maeve saw them at the parade in town?
Yes.
I mean, unless they have multiple Indian tribes in the area, which I guess it's possible. It's possible. But they're freaky and scary, and they're coming at them. They're strong and tough. I bet you if we could spot one of those, like statuettes.
Yeah, the paint clearly tells you they're milk worshippers.
Yes. Is that what you're saying? Because they're white like that? They paint themselves white? Yeah, that's true. Sure. Is this a symbol of something red?
That's the horse's crit spot.
Crit spot. If you hit the horse there, it dies right away. Yeah, that's awesome. And so, yeah, man, but this is sort of a big action sequence. It was pretty good. You got a good old-fashioned Western. And in a lot of ways, the show just sort of...
Is he going to bite him?
Yeah. She's squeezing out a fart. This is her... They're trying to get the horse to move.
Can that be the thumbnail? Please?
Okay, if you insist. Look at how sappy he is. This is like his glamour shots from Sears, and there she is trying to make a gorilla laugh with her fart. Good for her, Dolores. So she's acting, man. She's tough. Like you make faces. I make faces when I wash dishes. Okay, so I give people a break for making funny faces while they're on horse fights. Yeah. So horses are down. The Indians are dead. Everybody's running around fighting, fucking killing. This is actually a clown who wandered in from a different timeline. Take that, fat white guy, you're dead. And okay, now we're off to the race. Well, they've kind of escaped, really. It's El Lazo, Dolores and Williams and there they go off to a plateau, and she sees something. What, you gotta say something?
No, I think Dolores leveled up from that. So she's now at Pants Dolores 2. Pants
Dolores 2. She spent a couple points. She's got some extra coins to spend down at the merchant in town, at the NPC vendors. James and I are doing video game talk here, everybody. Sorry. And boom! Clouds. And she says, no, stop. And so she gets up. Lazo's surprisingly, like, he's not in charge of them. He lets them do it. You know what I mean? Like, he seems to treat them like equals, not like captives. Not that they are his captives, but he's such an evil guy is what I'm saying. Like, I could plausibly see him kind of thinking that they belong to him or somehow.
But bear in mind, he's the one who's riding a horse with two, volatile corpses on the back. If they wanted to do something, they could blow him up any second they wanted to.
Two human-shaped bombs.
Yeah.
But what does she see? This is pretty obvious, I think, when she stopped. It's like, oh, she sees the thing she painted. I guess you could call it that, right?
It vaguely resembles what she saw.
Yeah, let's do one of our trademark backups. All right, boom, there it is. Check that out. That's the thing. There's the rocks on the left, water in the middle, rocks on the right. And now we go back to our other screenshot that I had. I got the number here in my head, if I can. There it is, and bam, rocks on the left. This is sort of the same, I guess. It's pretty much. But to her it is, and that's what matters most. So, oh, wow, she's like, oh, look, it's my thing. Does this mean she's been there before, though? That she was actually tapping into an old reverie that they didn't know? But it's a sign, and they think they see their future off in that cavern or that canyon, right? And El Lazo warns them. They actually ask him, what's down that way? And he goes, you got to ask the dust. Nobody goes there ever comes back.
Ain't nothing ever come back from there.
Ain't nothing ever come back from there. Mm-hmm.
French fried taters.
French fried foot day, $5 foot long. And
they do need a new spokesman.
Yeah, Bill Cosby's available. Anyway, yeah, they kind of decide they're just going to go there. That was this whole gist of this ending. They part ways with El Lazo. El Lazo seems to not... He's like, well, the Indians are going to come kill us next, so we better fucking hurry up. Yeah. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to follow her fucking blanket painting.
You think they're just going to, hit an invisible wall that says end of map?
Yeah. It's going to go, you must turn around. Yes. There's nothing to explore this way. And then, they're going to be stuck. There's got to be an end. There's got to be a Truman Show, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess they're outside. Would they stumble into a city?
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of code where, if Dolores tried to leave the boundaries, she would just instantly deactivate or electrify or just die or something.
Yeah. It's Ed Harris, Truman Show. It all comes together.
What about,
Kevin Bacon.
What powers them? What's their power source? Do they have to recharge or...
Solar.
Have they ever even talked about that?
Natural gas. That's why she farts. She farts.
That's why the dress.
Yeah. It drives a turbine that is just outside of her fart hole. And that powers enough electricity for days. And then they have to do another horse fight and have a big fart. All right. And people say that we're not serious discussion.
Yeah, that was the most mature thing I think we've ever said.
This is not a serious discussion. It's a fucking video game show on HBO. Shut up about it being serious. Come on. Get over yourself. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to yell at our listeners. So Maeve's on the table. She's dead, and it's fucked up. We don't know how she died, but it's not really important to it. So there's another female tech, which is probably good because she's not going to be as aggressive as the males are down in this dungeon.
We can assume at this point that Maeve is aware because she intentionally dies because she can overcome the programming that keeps her in a sleep mode.
Yeah.
So they bring her back down here. She's awake and alive and aware on the table, but she's playing dead because of this female technician is not aware of her capabilities and her consciousness.
Yeah, and she had a peanut butter jelly sandwich for lunch, and it fell on her chest. But yeah, this female tech doesn't know what's going on. Felix, of course, does. This guy's probably been losing some sleep lately. He's been pretty stressed out. So they're taking a sample, and then Maeve actually grabs Felix's arm while the female tech is there, and he's like, "Oh shit!" He's got those glasses on, and he gets rid of her somehow, right? Something goes on, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
They what they do is they removed all these scissors from Maeve. She was full of scissors. So, of course, we all know what Maeve's up to. Maeve is fucking powerful now. I like Maeve. Maeve really has grown on me last episode or two.
Yeah, so Felix,
not that I didn't like her before, but
Felix is warning her at this point. Is like, if you keep coming topside like this intentionally, eventually people are going to notice.
Yeah. He's like, you're playing with fire here, Maeve wavy.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't give a shit, motherfucker.
All she cares about, her prime directive here is, where is Clem?
Yeah, she wants to find her buddy, and so she's in the body shop, which would be a great name for plastic surgery, I guess. 46th floor. Wow, they got a lot of floors. Decommissioning in progress.
No.
She's on her way out. Huh. Oh, look at her last name, Pennyfeather.
Oh, they actually say that out loud at one point in the diagnostics. It is during the presentation that Theresa is giving.
Hi, it's me, Clementine Pennyfeather, at your service. Ow! So yeah, I blacked out some blurry fucking corpses in the back too.
So she's basically saying, "Take me to her now. Yeah. Take me now.
Now." And so he's like, "All right, fine, fuck, I can't resist you." So he puts on his boots. Oh, he's already wearing boots. But this is weird. He's like, just takes her. I mean, it's okay to walk around, I guess.
But I'm kind of glad they did this because they show another tech going by who's also walking a nude person around. There? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we know it's not out of the ordinary.
Right. It's not like they're taking a giant risk by being spotted because this would blend in. But there's Sylvester, our old jerky buddy, and he's preparing some sort of tool with Theresa overseeing. We see up in the upper right here, Felix and Maeve are approaching, and they see something. What? What are you laughing about? What?
I just noticed what you did with Sylvester.
I didn't do anything there. I didn't do nothing. That ain't nothing, all right, James? How dare you? Get your mind out of the gutter, okay, fuck boy?
All right.
And so Maeve, of course, sees something going on. Now, I was kind of hoping... We see, of course, Clementine, and never mind. I'm not going to say what I was thinking. And but I was thinking Maeve was going to intervene because she's like a badass now. It's like, what the fuck, Maeve?
But she's smart enough to know that there's too much at stake to risk doing that now in front of a board member. And,
right. It would require her like escaping.
It would be suicide for her.
Creating a diversion. But yeah, it would obviously, because these people are paranoid as fuck about anything these robots do. But she just has to sit there, so that's the torture. She's stuck watching her friend, and what they're doing is giving her a lobotomy. I don't know what normal lobotomy techniques are, but this is one where they're going to jam a drill up her nose and fuck up her brain. Looks like some kind of weird brush your dentist might use or something like that.
Dentist appointment tomorrow. So
thank
you for that mind image.
You're welcome. Yeah, I hope it goes well. Did they? Okay, never mind. I'm not going to get into that. So Maeve is horrified, and poor old. This is the end of Clementine. Yep. She's gone. I mean, to bring her back into the show. I mean, she's off the show now. Unless she's going to have some reveries. Do you think she's gone forever?
I mean, for the purpose of the story being decommissioned, I think she'd have to be.
Yeah. Now, they might dump her in cold storage standing up somewhere, which is inefficient. But
or, fully rewrite her, replace her brain. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, that's what seems... Yeah, like just... Yeah, right. The 6-month rehabilitation thing that Theresa told Bernard to do.
I mean, if you took all the time to sculpt the face and create the body and all that kind of stuff, you'd think that you just want to pop a new, knowledge core or something into it, whatever they have up there.
Yeah, swap out the hard drive.
Yeah.
New processor. Yeah, and also, it'll be more heart-wrenching for us, the viewers, to see her later on, and she'll be totally different. Or she'll have no memory or something else. So she'll be Peter Abernathy. She'll be Dolores' new dad. So there they go. It's sort of horrible and sad and all that. And so, she cries. They have tears. They even gave them tear ducts. Bernard comes in. It's all going down. It's fucked up. It's crazy. And, Well, we got a bunch of corpses. And so Felix and Maeve head off. Clementine, we get our final parting shot as blood emerges from her nose, just like we all do when we all die.
You think there'd be a less gruesome way to decommission them built in, you know?
Like a self-destruct button?
Yeah, where her head just explodes.
You pat them on the head and they just blow up in 5 seconds?
Or something, you know, that's just not as
like ancient Egyptian,
yeah,
like body processing where they jam a tool up their nose and fuck their brain up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I would think they'd come up with something. And that's one of the weird things that I wonder if they'll ever try to explain those like sci-fi gobbledygook where they'll just be like, oh, are they like, how do the brains store data? Like, is it biological? I mean, there's lots of those sort of sci-fi, aka magic leaps that are going on in the show, and that's not bad. I mean, that's how a lot of sci-fi really works. I get it. But it's funny when they try to explain, like, oh, we're gonna reverse the polarity on her fucking, head SSD or something. So, but they're so far advanced from us that we don't know. So, anything to add, by the way?
Oh, not really, other than the fact that Bernard enters. Bernard's already been fired at this point, so it's kind of strange that they're allowing him to go into...
I agree, yeah.
Kind of you think he'd take his security access away right away, but anyway, he goes and talks to Theresa and says, I need to have a word with you.
Yeah. And she goes right with him, and he wants to show her something.
Yeah,
right?
He's taking her to show her something specific, and he reveals to her that he knows something.
Yeah.
Because he's got nothing to lose now. He's been fired. His job's over.
Yeah.
So he was saying that he knows... He's basically saying, your presentation now was embarrassingly bad. If your people were half as smart as mine were writing code, you'd be working for me. Mm-hmm. And the code that I saw...
They'd be working for me.
Yeah, clearly that code was put there intentionally by your people, and clearly you were the one who was responsible for the stray. You're the one who's responsible for the uplink, for the upload of the data outside the park. This is all connected back to you.
Yeah. And I think we touched on this earlier though, but that data uplink from the woodcutter, the stray, is Dr. Ford's. It's the contingency plan. They're trying to get Dr. Ford's access.
Exactly.
So they're trying to execute this plan though. And they've been diligently doing it.
They're trying to make a backup of all the raw data that's stored in the park so that they can fire and remove Dr. Ford, replace him, and not risk him wiping the slate clean in protest.
Yeah. And right. So he confronts her, and then he storms out. But he says he also has something else to show her, right? Or he's going to prove it, or how does?
He's taking her to show her something.
Yeah. So they get in the elevator. It closes. Look at that.
That's amazing.
Like David Blaine.
You notice, like if you look on the right hand side. It's only. Oh no.
What?
Actually, no.
3 reflections.
I was like, it's only Theresa. Then you see half of Bernard sticking out. So
those are called angles, James. Yep. Oh fuck. There it goes. Well, elevators in the future. Hey, who knew? So Maeve is Sylvester, and she's got her titties kind of there, but they're not nipples, so, because that matters for some reason. And these guys are talking about what to do, but she's sort of the one calling the shots.
Yeah, and Sylvester is kind of worried at this point because he knows that she saw him doing to her friend what he did.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what, I didn't want to retire her. If I didn't do it, though, someone else in the line would have done it anyway. And she basically says, all this point in time, what I've been doing is surviving. And I realize now that surviving is just another loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah.
And you two are going to help me.
Yeah, and she said something about, like, I've died a million times or something.
She said, at first I thought you were gods, then I realized you're all just men, and I know men. You think I'm scared of death? I've done it a million times, and I'm great at it.
Yeah.
I'm effing great at it, And she says, how many times have you died? If you don't help me, I'll kill you.
Yeah, and let's back up, and that's the face he makes to that. And whenever a woman tells me she's going to kill me, my beard turns gray, too. They're in trouble. But she has these 2 dudes wrapped around her fingers like the putty on the back of her hand or something. All right, so Bernard and Theresa, off they go. They're heading on an elevator ride. And this thing goes on forever, too. This is like a long conversation.
They were pretty deep in the mesa.
Yeah. So... would they have been on 43, I guess? Because they were
possibly. It takes a while.
That's what that one screen said where what's her face was being processed.
Yeah.
So what are they saying in these shots? Do you have...
Basically, Theresa says that she was charged with safeguarding the park's IP, and that Ford never allowed anything to be backed up, and it could all have been destroyed, and he would destroy all of the park's IP on his way out the door, so that's why she did what she did, and all that. She was justifying her actions to him.
Yeah.
And saying that the only thing that ever mattered to me was the park and the people who worked in it. She was basically, in a way, apologizing to him, saying, I never intended for this to happen to you. This was not a slight on you as a person. I was doing what I had to do because I had to do it because of the board.
Kind of putting her cards on the table, finally. Yeah. Answering a lot of questions. We did learn a lot. I mean, we know what the data uplink is about. well, I guess that's it. We learn more. I'm too stupid to think of it all. So then this is actually what I predicted. I figured they were going here.
Yeah, you did call this.
I called this. I said they're probably going to Ford's house, and he wants to show her where these unregistered hosts are, which is Dr. Ford's family. So that guy's not Arnold.
No, that was the
photo.
Surprising thing, because when originally Bernard and Dr. Ford talked about Arnold, he picked up that picture, which had a very conspicuous open spot in the far right of it, as though something had been removed from it. As I think someone in the comments once said that it looks like it's been bleached, which I agree. It looked very suspicious when you think about it that way. But the man that he insinuated was Arnold was actually his father.
Yeah.
So Dr. Ford is hiding something, which is not any surprise now. We know he's a pretty shady guy at this point.
Yeah, and he's got his wizard fingers in on this whole pot of kookiness. So he gets this little lantern, which I don't know, I wouldn't call that good preparation. And she's like, oh, where are the hosts? And nobody's there, though. They're not where he expects them to be.
Yeah, so he's suspecting that Dr. Ford has moved them.
Yeah. Now, somebody says a comment about him. He says something about not being able to see.
Yeah, she says, this building is not in any of the surveys of the park. And I think Bernard says that hosts do the surveys, and they're programmed to ignore this place. They're programmed not to see what they're not supposed to see.
Even if it was right there, they wouldn't see it.
At which point she says, if you look like right to the left, to the left of where she's standing, it looks like a wall.
Yeah, there's more here, and there's more of those. Yeah.
But she says, what's behind this door? And then Bernard immediately says, what door?
She's talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so the moment he says that, it's like, that's the huge moment.
Big reveal. James called it. I didn't register it because I'm dumb. James goes, oh, he's a host, which has been people been speculating.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a long time theory of people, and it's absolutely confirmed as of that one line.
Yeah, because this, I'm going to back up just a little. So yeah, this is the door. You could tell us hitting the button, and boom, he goes, he didn't see it. He did exactly what he said hosts do. Mm-hmm. And wow, that was a big deal.
And that takes us back to like the very first scene of the episode where he's talking about the Mad Hatter with Charlie, saying that to the Mad Hatter, everything would be what it isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, also to the conversation with Hector at the beginning, too, about something about, I don't see the trains and the cities. So it didn't look like anything to him. So there's giant answers that need to come here. It's also not Arnold, we don't think. We learn in a little while.
That Bernard is not Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fairly established.
Yeah. So we come down and we see this cool machine, and it's printing up a science classroom skeleton. I thought that was kind of interesting, this little thing. And they made a remark that this is like an older model, and it's sort of like, she's like, I didn't know this is down here.
It's like one of the first 3D printers for
it is, yeah, it's a 3D printer. And actually it's kind of like, this is sort of like, 3D printers have that like coil. It looks like a weed whacker wire. This is all being fed through, and you got this, interesting. Either that or this guy's just super into Halloween.
Yeah, and she says something like, it's technically, it's a new piece of equipment. It's capable of doing the same things the more advanced ones are, but it just takes a couple of days to crank out one host.
Yeah. It's not like the milk bath that just oozes them out and threads them up real nice and pretty. I guess they have normal bones. I mean, those are kind of just standard bones.
Do you think they start with like a skeleton at stock? They just rip it out of a closet and sit it down, and that's the base that they print over top of?
I would think they probably make skeletons for each person because they're all unique, I think. I mean, you could do like a couple different women skeletons, a couple different man skeletons, because you can't just have one. Different heights, different shapes.
What if they were all just had different style of mustaches?
Yeah.
But they were all the same person.
Right, yeah. Like the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like you just changed their name and gave them a different odor. So she sees this, but I thought we'd seen this before. Very similar.
Well, I think we have.
Bernard interviewed Dolores.
Yes, but I was about to say
this giant machine wasn't there.
No, but this proves that Bernard has been making his own host behind the scenes. Not Bernard, that Dr. Ford has been making his own host behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And that when he takes hosts out of the park to have private conversations, he's probably in one of his own little private rooms connected to this facility.
Yeah, like this little weird workshop. He's got kind of these old worn out things. This is very like kind of like science classroom or museum storage. So this is ancient. The really, set design here is obviously very deliberate. And, this welder's mask, that's just sort of foreboding in a way, too, to think about what goes on with that thing. And, she's kind of exploring around and looking, and she finds a stack of stuff. It's the boy!
Yeah.
Robert. And with his robot face down there. They got different drawings and sort of schematics and stuff.
He's just a figurehead.
Yeah, he is. Go figurehead. So that's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts, man. You got a little kid head on there and stuff, and then she moves it, and oh crap, nipples.
That's Dolores.
Crap. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, I hope you're not being aroused or something, because that's immoral.
So,
fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of put things into perspective here, though, what do we know about Dolores and Robert?
Well, I can tell that, see, elbow joint, that's where she keeps her weed.
Yeah, but we know that
She's the original.
But they were made by Arnold.
Yeah.
And because this is an old printer, I'm thinking this was probably one of Arnold's private workshops.
Oh, okay. But it's been repurposed by
Yes, Dr. Ford has taken it over, but I think that these schematics are back from the time that Arnold was doing his thing.
Yeah.
And there it says Dolores at the bottom, so we know this is Dolores. Prototype.
The prototype. This prototype rearranged to form, like, Toto Pripe.
Yes.
Toto Pripe. Okay, so Bernard... What's he saying in this whole thing? He's not really...
Well, Theresa's looking at these things, and she sees something that basically shakes her to the core.
Yeah.
And she's saying, Bernard, do you know what this place is? Do you know what's going on? Do you know anything about this?
Yeah. She sees something that is very arresting, and as we kind of knew, I mean, we knew for sure, but this is absolute final proof. Oh, Bernard! Boy, you're really going to trick people. You got to give them... balding. Make him balding. Yeah. Partial balding. Mostly balding. Whatever that's called.
And apparently he's a Ken doll, too.
He's got no weenie.
You think she would have noticed that.
Yeah, why would you not draw that on the thing? It'd just be weird. What if it was like all the way down to here? It was just like one of these. Just a fucking umbrella sock hanging down there. Yeah, so that's crazy. So there's Bernard, man. Bernard's a fucking host. What the hell?
And if the fact that he didn't see the door and this schematic was not enough to convince people that he was a host, the very next thing, his response to looking at that should be the home run out of the park.
Yeah, yeah. Also, or there could have been, what if there was like a dead kid laying down like, in the schematic next? That's a bad joke. I'll delete that. Yeah, so the next thing he says
is, it doesn't look like anything to me. He doesn't even see it.
Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, whoa, he's real. Wow. I mean, not that we needed more proof, but isn't that wild? I love that they did that. That was so interesting. And then Dr. Ford shows up. Huh? Oh, hello, it's me.
He just emerges out of the woodwork whenever he wants to.
Yeah, he's like Homer Simpson coming out of the bushes,
out of the hedge,
hanging out with Ned Flanders. Yeah, he just turns out the old sneaky bastard, very spry. And what's he start saying?
Well, she basically, he goes on this long spree about how he's not a bad person because the hosts are actually free. They're devoid of anxiety, of pain, of consciousness. They're more free than we are as people. Yeah. And she basically just calls him a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like,
am I? No. Oh. Yeah. That's all I got.
And the whole time, poor Bernard is sitting here trying to process this, thinking like, no, I have a past, I have a family, I have a wife, I have had a son, I have memories, and he's like freezing Bernard and giving him commands and basically putting Bernard into host mode.
Yeah. And we've never seen him more hosty than now, because he's definitely under, like, he's not really functioning, he's not freaking out, he's not angry, he's not upset, he's just more confused and he's sort of just like stalling. He's getting the beach ball inside his own mind or something, because he doesn't really seem to question it, but he's obviously processing it.
Yeah, and he even goes so far, she asks him, he goes, did you set him up to be with me? And he's like, no, you did that on your own, but, it was convenient for him. And
I always liked men with no penis.
But it just goes to show just what a manipulative, terrifying man Dr. Ford really is.
Yeah. Because he talks about the board. He kind of fesses up and says, like, they're not going to get... he says... Arnold and I designed this place. I'm not going to give it up.
Yeah, he says every now and then the boards push, but then I put them in their place.
Yeah, and he says, too, that turns into a very clear threat, which, did you see this coming? At the beginning of the scene?
Yeah, but before that, he goes into this really brief speech where he says that he read a theory once that human intellect is like peacock feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Just to attract a mate. The peacock can barely fly, lives in the dirt, consoling itself with its own beauty.
Oh, I love that. That's got to be quoted from something, because that's beautiful.
And that's just a paraphrase. That's not the exact quote.
But right. But as a metaphor for the human mind, and that it's all just a mating ritual. All we're doing is just trying to get laid. And there's actually something to that.
Yeah, and he says the hosts are the only ones here who are free here, under my control. Yeah. Free from anxiety and so forth.
Yeah. So the inference, though, is men get motivated when women reject them, and sometimes it hurts them their whole life, and I think that maybe Anthony Hopkins here dated Dolores at the beginning.
Could be.
And she scorned him in some way, because that can be a ego wound that you cannot recover from, especially if you already have maniac tendencies, like so many of us do.
Yeah, and there is a mention in this episode about the hosts holding grudges with the reveries and so forth.
Right.
So this kind of comes back to that theory that you have. So that could very possibly be it.
Wow, I was just bullshitting, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and see how she's confident right here. She's like, yeah, well, you think you're so smart? Well, if Bernard was under your control, then why did he bring me here? He wanted to show me something.
Yeah.
And he was like, haha, he brought you here because I asked him to bring you here.
Right.
And that's her oh crap face.
And then she goes, oh, fuck. These guys aren't going to let me leave, it sounds like, and it just gets really ominous. Like, you're just going, oh, so shit.
She does her power pushback, saying your time running this place is over. You've been playing God long enough. Do you really think the board will stand for this? And he throws his usual lines out, saying the board will do nothing. And then he basically comes down to a phrase that Miss Hale said to Theresa earlier in the episode, saying that this situation calls for a blood sacrifice.
A blood sacrifice. That is such a weird term, phrase.
That's the second time that phrase was used this episode, both to Theresa, which is a big ominous thing.
It just stands in such contrast to the future. Like, I know the future is probably filled with violence, just like the past and just like the present, or just like now and just like the past. But, like, to be like, we need a blood sacrifice. Like, what is this, Kali Ma? Is this the Indiana Jones? Or what if he reached out and just, like, grabbed her heart out of her chest and... Well, it just... no, and I'm especially kind of, like, to cults and religion and the kooky sort of, like, we need to fuck with people's bodies to appease the lords. So the word sacrifice, and maybe he's just being dramatic, or he...
Yeah, I don't think he intentionally is referencing like an actual human sacrifice.
No,
what he's trying to say is that every now and then a moth flies too close to the flame, becomes a nuisance, and we have to strike it down.
Yeah, so we need a moth sacrifice. A dusty, weird moth. What is that, dust? What the fuck are moths made of? You kill it. Mothballs. That's what they have. That's why they're so bold.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now we realize, I'm like, what the fuck? And you called it.
Yeah, he says every now and then someone, puts their nose in a little bit too deep, and this time the board sent you to me.
Yeah. And she gets out her phone. It doesn't work. She's stuck. Nothing's going on there. Unable to connect offline. Oh, crap. She's got no way to call for help. And he actually... Now she's really worried because he's imposing and menacing in on her. And he's...
Yeah, when her phone doesn't work, he kind of laughs a little bit and says, Arnold and I designed this place. Do you really think I would let you take it from me? And she said, is this what happened to Arnold? And he goes, like I said, I built all of this.
Yeah.
Arnold, and he goes a little bit further on in the next... I don't want to spoil it, but in the next screenshot or so... when she questions whether or not that inevitably was Arnold killed because he became a nuisance, because he got too close to foiling Dr. Ford's plans.
Yeah. But we also learned, though, that Bernard was created after Arnold's death.
Yes, because at this point, he basically gives Bernard the command to end Theresa.
Yeah, do you remember the phrasing of that command?
Oh, it was like a Shakespearean quote almost.
Yeah, it's one of those...
It was something very eloquent, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't, James, kill the lady!
No, it's not quite his style, but Bernard is taking off his glasses, removing his coat, he's getting ready to do something.
Yeah, it was really, like, clinical, like a doctor getting ready. And he did it without any hurry, and he just sort of, like, takes off his tie and then walks right at her, and then just fucking starts hitting her.
But before that, she does say, is this what happened to Arnold? And he says, well, Bernard wasn't around back then, were you, Bernard?
Yeah.
Which implies that, yes, this is what happened to Arnold, but not Bernard. And we know who was around when Arnold was around. Very few, Dolores being one of them, which goes back to our theory. Did Dolores kill Arnold? I think he did. She did, but I don't think it was for the reasons we were speculating. I think it's because she was given the kill command by Dr. Ford.
Oh, could be. Yeah, could be. Or it's that old cowboy that Anthony Hopkins likes hanging out with. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just is his boyfriend. Hey, everybody's got their thing. Why not? Go for it. And so I also thought it was interesting that they decided to film it from this angle, from behind here, from behind the machine, the 3D printer. We see him. We don't really get a good look at it, and I'm kind of glad. I'm done with the violence. And he hits her, and we see he kind of smash. I think he just smashes her head against the wall. I guess that's what a robot would do to a person.
Yeah, and yells Bernard smash, as we learned in the other episode.
Go, go, gadget, Bernard smash! Roar! And, so Anthony Hopkins watches him, and Bernard just fucking kills her, man, and he's cold. He's a robot now. He's a maniac. Not now,
do you think in a future episode he's going to have a reverie, he's going to remember, have a flash of what happened?
Well, that actually opens up a really big prediction question, which let's ask when we get to the end, if I can remember. It's only a few more away. So yeah, sorry. Notice the blood on the wall, and she's down. Man, he killed her. And we got this thing, very classic skeleton. It's threading up all the tissues and stuff. And wow, crazy. What a turn, though, huh? I mean, some people probably saw this coming, but
I think he's printing a Theresa to replace her.
Oh,
so no one will know.
You can cover up that body.
Maybe there was original Bernard that he killed too.
Wow, look at you, bro. You just cough. Why did they just call you bro? What the fuck? I think I've been watching too much Tool Academy. And so there they go, and Jesus.
I could see that as a season ender too. It's like it takes a couple days to print a host, and you see it like another episode, in the very end, you see the detail, and it pans away, and it's Theresa.
It's where Theresa walks up these steps or something like that. Yeah, I mean, her clothes are down there.
And she just embraces Bernard, and they walk off together.
Right. Oh, creepy. Wow. And they just get back to banging.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he's got a robot girlfriend, and they can stay the same genitals saggingness forever. So, boom. Bernard just gets dressed and he walks off. It's so crazy. And what's that? Was he touching the ground? I don't know. What the fuck? Something happened there at the end. So, wow, that's the end. The prediction thing that you just said, though, about Bernard, you brought up the reverie. Will he now set off on his own consciousness journey similar to Dolores? Like, he suddenly is going to start having a reverie or two, and he's going to maybe realize he's done something. It sounds like he's been around forever, though. I mean, for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So that might not be on the case, but maybe that violent ends have violent deaths thing trigger will get to him or something. Denzel Washington will touch him, like in that movie where he touched, the demon transmits through touch. Something will go on. Do you think that's possible?
Nah, it is possible. I think so. But do you think that the woman he was talking to, Bernard, in the prior episode, his wife, do you think that really is a real person? That Bernard was alive at one point and was murdered and remade, and that she thinks that is her husband?
The only case for that, which is pretty good, is that she's a well-known actress. Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen her and stuff.
You think she'd be back? Yeah.
Could be, yeah. I mean, I could see her turning up and being like, Bernard, my husband. And then Charlie runs in, but he's like a teenager now, and he's like, Dad, you left me.
Oh, he's out cutting the grass, and the sprinklers go off, and he starts sparking.
He gets wet and sparks. Like an old IBM PC Junior. Yeah, man. I mean, shit. We learned a lot this episode. We saw Bernard, one of our favorite guys, it turns out to be a killer robot.
You know what else makes me a little bit worried?
What?
Now that I know what Dr. Ford is capable of, just what he'll do, it makes me think Elsie might not be alive.
Oh, right. Poor old Elsie. She won't be making out with robots anymore. Damn it.
She was poking her nose where it didn't belong.
Putting her lips on the wrong...
And confiding in a host.
Put your hand up on my
without realizing it.
Yeah, dude. I wonder who did it. I bet you it was Bernard. Bernard went after it. I don't know where he was in that shot. That would be a good twist.
Yeah, but the fact that and they wiped his memory, so the fact that he was looking for her
will
throw you off the track, off the trail.
Yeah, and he's clearly like he'll do whatever the fuck Ford tells him to do. Mm-hmm. Or maybe Ford's family killed him and they rehabilitated that dog, and then the dog killed her, and little Robert turned her into a coat.
Yeah, and what if there's like other parts of the world, and the CEOs come after Ford, like Mitsubishi or Toyota, and they start beating up on Ford. And Ford has to call in Chevrolet to help him.
Yep, could be. And then at the end of it, they all just drive off on a Saab because they got great safety. Yeah. But okay, but overall, this episode though, you liked it?
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the few episodes so far that has really pushed the story forward very quickly. Yeah, a lot happened. We learned a lot of things happened. Things that have been building up for a while finally came to a crest and crescendo. And it happened. Yeah, dude. With Maeve activating into this badass, I'm kind of like really liking the way she is. I want to see, what does getting out mean? Yeah. Is there an external world once they exit this Truman Show bubble? Is she gonna be like in Tokyo, running around going, oh my god, fucking shit, this is crazy here? Or is she gonna get stuck in one of the sub levels, and she staggers her way through? She hits one of those bodies that's standing there, and they all just tumble around like dominoes. They just take a big crash. And they all wake up and they just start, so her whole trajectory is fascinating. I love that they made her a badass. That's just interesting. I'm curious how Dolores's and William's arc is going to circle back into the world, because they're off on the maze thing. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen the Man in Black. Yeah, he was not in this episode. Yeah, so he was taken prisoner, wasn't he? He was being beaten up. Yeah, he got captured when him and Teddy
No. Teddy killed everybody with the gatling gun, and they got out of there.
Oh, that's right, because he was trying to get through. Yeah, he was trying to get through the border to the Union side, and he gets beaten up and everything, and then he gets saved.
Right,
yeah.
right. So my prediction is that Dolores and William will find some sort of structure that's part of the old park that they're not allowed to see, and they somehow manage to get by it. That's where nobody ever comes back from there, that whole thing. But they're also going to make their way through it and end up re-intersecting with the Man in Black somehow.
What if they get over a ridge and it's just like a whole field of fly paper and it's just hose stuck to it?
That's awesome. Oh man, I wish I could animate that. That's so good. Yeah, just like a bunch of no, but they're like rat traps, but they can still walk around with them.
Yeah.
My friend, I know a rat got stuck in one of those rat traps, and it was a big rat, so it just started walking around with it like a big paddle. And so he said it was slapping in his kitchen. This rat.
Was it one of the sticky straps?
Yeah, the sticky things. It's like that little rat thing.
Yeah.
Sticky. And so he killed it with a golf club.
Oh god. Oh man.
Well, you had to do something.
No. See, I had a mouse that was stuck in one of those one time. My dad put it out, and I felt so horrible for it because I don't like hurting things. I spent like...
Is that why you always insult me?
Yes. I spent like 4 hours sitting with that mouse in my lap, just like carefully prying his little toes out of it, getting his little individual whiskers out of it, washing him off, and setting him free.
Oh, you saved his life.
I saved him.
Oh, wow. You're like the reverse Dr. Ford.
Yeah, can you imagine how terrified that poor guy was?
Yeah. It's so funny. No, I'm not laughing at that. That's cute. It's nice that you did that. And then that also explains why you have a mousetrap stuck to your elbow.
Yeah.
And have since you were a boy. So way to go. All right. Anything else you want to say? I know we're a little bit over your time. Thanks for being patient.
No, it's a great episode. I'm looking forward to next week.
Hell yeah. Oh, you know what? Thanksgiving is coming up. And it's going to fuck up our time. I'm traveling, unfortunately. We're going to try something. We don't know what exactly, but if you don't look for the Thanksgiving episode at the same way this one comes out. The Sunday before Thanksgiving, I will be out of town. So we're going to screw up our schedule a little bit. Please be patient, everybody. I'm sorry. We're going to figure it out. We love everybody who's been commenting. We love everybody who's subscribed. Thank you so much for finding the channel. The positive comments are so encouraging. I know it sounds a little schmaltzy, but I've been working my fucking ass off on this channel in the absolute darkness for 3 years. And so it's really nice to see things coming around. And we're going to put up some more video game stuff, too.
Yeah, and I sit in a cubicle at work with my brain melting half the day. And when I feel at my worst, I check the channel, read comments, and it as cliche and corny as it sounds, it really does make my day better. So I appreciate that.
Oh, listen to us, huh? I almost had an emotion.
I did a brief one too.
Hey, nice. Let's go get some Del Taco and try to kill that shit. So time for James's trademark. Oh, and subscribe and like and all. You guys know that. But time for James's trademark suit upgrade. James, what kind of upgrade are you hoping for this week?
Gun hat.
A gun hat. No, you don't get to take fucking give requests, okay? I make the decision. I haven't even decided what I'm gonna get. I gotta come up with
Pet rattlesnake with a laser beam.
Pet rattlesnake with a laser beam. Coming right up. We got one pet rattlesnake. All right, well, here we go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Look at you. Whoa. Wow, Mr. Fancy Boy. You are let's just say this. Sun 0, James 1. Oh, boy. Wow. Impressive. What do you think?
Nice.
Say something. Say something, bitch.
I like this.
That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. All right, everybody. Goodbye. Ready, James? Let's say yeehaw and wave our arms like crazy. In 3, 2, 1.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Yeehaw!